First knot I'm going to teach you, collar knot. Make a loop in your line. Put it through the eye of your hook. Just like that. Bring it back. Make an overhand knot. Tighten it down a little bit. Now, open your loop. Put your hook or swivel or sinker or whatever you want. Feed it through the loop. Pull everything tight. Polymer knot. This is the fisherman's knot. This is the first knot I learned. This is the first knot everyone should learn when you're tying swivels, hooks, whatever. Put your line through. Okay? Cross it. So you got it both in one hand. Take your hook. Bring it around however many times you want. The heavier the line, the less you want to do. But we'll call that 8. Get your tag end through that loop in the base of your line. Hold that tag end with one hand, cinch it down a little bit. Make sure you wet it. Pull tight. That's the fisherman's knot. The no knot Snell knot. It's a knot, but you don't tie a knot in it. I get it. Feed your line through the front of the eye. Bring your tag end down. Bring it down. What's up, Tater Tot? Get out of here. I don't need your help. Thank you very much. Bring your tag end down just past your hook point. I know. Get out of here. Go on. Get out of here. I'm going to throw you a beating. Tater, I'm going to let you go play in traffic, all right? So, take your line. Well, hold it better than that. Take your line. Once you're holding it better, my gosh. Take your line, go around the eye. Now you're going to go around the shank of the hook. Go around. I go around at least a dozen times. Okay, now you take the end of your line and you go back through the eye from the back side. Pull it tight. That is your no knot Snell. This knot is a little bit trickier, but it's not difficult. Not that difficult. This is called the uni knot. Go through the back side.
Oh my goodness.
Get a good length on your tag end. Now, close to the hook. You see how I got those lines together but not crossing? Pinch it there. Take your short tag end, make a loop. Now you've got all three in one finger, or in your two fingers right here, one hand. You take your tag end, you feed it through the line, or through this loop, 1. You do it more times for thinner line, less times for heavier. That's 2. Do it at least 4 times. 3. My hands aren't working too well today, I apologize. And 4. Now, you pull your short tag end to cinch it up to the main line. Then you pull the main line to cinch it down to your hook or your swivel or your reel or whatever. And you just trim your short tag end. And that's the uni knot. Each of those knots have their time and their place. The Snell knot, for example, is good for anything, but it's the best, in my opinion, it's the best for circle hooks, offset circle hooks, offset cables, anything like that that has the offset eye, or in specifically circle hooks, because the line is coming back out the front of the hook of the eye, which means when you set the hook, rather when the fish sets the hook, you do not set the hook on the circle. It's going to pull that point into the meat of the fish's mouth or jaw or whatever it's got. If you do it the other way, if you put the line, if you feed it through the front and it's coming out the back, it's going to pull the point away. That's why it has to come back out the front. The reason you don't set circle hooks is because when you go to set it, it's going to do one of those. The reason they work so well is the fish grabs it like that, and then when they turn, they set the hook. Your fisherman's knot is particularly good when, say you've got a leader line that's broke, but it's long enough that you want to reuse it. You can't. You can, but it's tricky as far as trying to retie a Snell on when its leader line is attached to the swivel. But your fisherman's knot is good for retying hooks quickly onto existing leader lines. Same with your uni knot. You want to use your uni knot, same principle as you kind of do with your fisherman's knot, but also I like to use the uni knot attaching line to reels.
Okay.
Your polymer, again, that's a good knot when stuff isn't attached. It can be a little bit tricky to do when everything is attached and you break a hook off or something. You almost can't do it. But so
Yeah.
this is a how-to.
Oh, you're not talking.
How to put your line on a reel, spinning reel. It's really no different for a casting reel. So I'm just using braid because it's easy. Go around the spool. Okay. I'm going to use a uni knot. I'll show you in another video how to use a uni knot. How to tie it. Just loop it around. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Take your tag end, cinch it down. Then you take your main line, cinch it down to the reel, tighten your tag end a little bit more. You can do it without tearing your fingers to pieces. It is braid. It's a little bit tricky sometimes. There you go. Cut your tag end off. Flip the bail. Give it a couple cranks. Tighten your drag. Then you're ready to set your spool in your preferred spool holder and reel it on. Just make sure that you hold for some tension. The tighter you got the line on the reel, the easier it's going to be, the more you can fit. And if you get snagged, you won't cut the line into the reel itself. Okay, this next rig I'm going to show you how to tie. All you need is a swivel, a sinker, a hook, a bead, and some line. It's called Carolina rig. So we're going to snell the hook again. Again, J hook, knotless snell. Go in through the front, wrap. I do a dozen times. You can do 10, you can do less, you can do more. Okay. Line comes back through, backside, cinch it tight. All right. Now, got your swivel, got your line. I'm going to show you a uni knot. You don't have to use a uni knot, but I'm going to show you the uni knot again. So you go through, get your line together. You want a long tag. Get your line together. Don't cross them, but so you have them in one hand. Okay? Make your loop. Now you got it all in one. Bring your tag in through 1, 2, 3, 4. Thinner line more, thicker line less. Hold your swivel. Pull your tag in tight so it cinches. Wet it. Wet the whole thing. Take your long end. Pull it tight. Uni knot. Done. You're going to, on your main line, put your sinker. You're going to put your bead. Remember, bead is your knot saver. Okay? This one I'm going to show you the fisherman knot again. Pull it through. Make your loop. Twist it. At least 8 times is what I do. Put it through. You put it through the loop in the line, not the loop in the swivel. Get it to there. Wet it. Hold that all in one hand. Cinch it down. There it is, fisherman. You just made Carolina rig. You cut your tag ends. This knot, or rather this rig, is a staple. Any cat fisherman, any carp fisherman, anybody that does anything like that, this is a staple. This is good for bottom fishing. You want your hook or your bait to sit on bottom, just bounce it. You want to use live bait. The shorter the leader, the less room it has to move around. The longer the leader, it can really swing. You want a shorter leader. You're going to play with your leader lengths when you're using live baits, because really long can make your bait swim around in circles and knot everything up. Carolina rig, real simple. Okay, this rig I'm going to show you, Santee Cooper rig, which is just a Carolina rig, but here's your difference. Here's your caveat to it. So I'm just going to snell the hook again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Go through the back. Cinch it tight. The first one I'm going to show you is with a Demon Dragon rattle. It's just a rattle. If you go to garage sales and buy bass lures or big musky lures and just cut the hooks off, you have these. So you feed it through the back, through the middle, through the front. What this is going to do, now you basically have it, there's your setup. Real simple. You can put a bobber stopper here and a bobber stopper here, or you can just go around with some electrical tape. You attach this to your swivel. I'm just going to do a polymer knot because it's quick and easy. There it is. Now you have your whole leader set. The beautiful thing about it is with the bobber stoppers or even electrical tape, you loosen it up, you can move your rattle, which is going to act like a float, and pull your bait off the ground. So if you got your weight here, this is going to float it up like this. The rattle is an attractant at certain times of the year. At certain times of the year, it can be a repellent. Then all you do, your main line, you detach your sinker and your knot saver bead, and there you go. I'm going to show you another example of the same basic. Okay, here's another Santee Cooper rig. It's a little bit different, same basic concept. This is the same hook as last time. All I did was snell it. Now you're going to get some beads. I use the bigger ones. I like a little bit of separation between the hook and my rattles. So I'm going to put, if I can find it, about 5 of these, maybe 6. Yeah, we'll go with 6, just depending on that. There we go, we got 6 beads. Okay, so you can see there's going to be some separation. Put a rattle. You can get these rattles very cheap on Amazon. Okay, that's that. Now what you want to do, get your bobber stops. You can get these off Amazon, you can get them on Temu, you can get them anywhere. They're cheap, and you get hundreds of them for very small amounts of money. All right, put your bobber stop through. Pull it down. Feed your bobber through. Rather your line through your bobber. Gonna put another bead. And another bobber stop. So there you go. You just made your second Santee Cooper rig. The reason you want 2 bobber stops is the bottom one will dictate how high the float can go up towards your rattle. You want a little bit of space so that your rattle can have room to actually move and rattle with the current. And the top one keeps it basically from moving too far up. Very simple. You can put as many beads or as little beads, as many rattles or as little rattles as you want. Just remember, your float has to float this. Clearly this float, this little float, won't float all this, but I'm just showing you the concept of how to do it. Okay, this rig I'm going to show you how to tie is a drop loop rig. I'll show you how to do the first one, which will just be a single drop, and then I'll show you how to make a double, all in one thing. So you want about 6 foot of line to start with. Take off about 1 foot. You don't even need that much, but just for ease, you guys can practice and do as you want. Make a loop. Okay, you got your loop. Now, keep your loop like it is. Keep it pinched in one hand, okay? You're gonna bring your short end, bring it through, okay? You're gonna wanna do that between 6 and 8 times. Smaller amount for a bigger line. Call that good. You find the middle section. It should be right there. Now you're going to pinch between the two pieces. Get your separation. You made another little loop. See that little loop? Take your big loop. Feed it through. There you go. Hold it in your mouth. Give it a little tug. Once it snugs, get it all wet. Hold it again. There's your dropper loop. Okay? What you can do is attach a swivel with a snap on it, and then you got a way to snap your sinker to it. Or you just make an overhand loop. You can do it once or you can do it twice. I'm just going to do it once to show. Now you got something that'll hold your sinker. You feed it through your sinker. Give it a little pinch. It ain't going to hurt nothing. Then you loop it around the sinker, pull tight. Now you've got it's never going to come off. If that's all you want it to do, you'd attach your swivel and be done. Now, this part is important. Always take the loop that you made, your dropper loop. Take your loop. You don't have to pinch it, but it helps. Make sure you put it through the front of the hook. And then bring the hook through and cinch it down. The reason being, you see how that line goes towards, it's pulling back? That's gonna pull the hook into the meat of the fish's mouth. If you do it the other way, so you go through, come on hands, through the back, put it through. When the fish goes to take it, it's going to pull the hook point out of the meat of the mouth. So it's imperative that you go the other way. Now, if you want to add a second loop, do the exact same thing as you do the first one, okay? Go up however far you want to go. I'm going to go, let's say 18 inches, okay? Make a loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull it down so you got your main loop still. Find the midway point. Make your loop. Pull that through, see how it made it. Cinch it down. Done and done. Now you've made your double loop. I've showed you several knots. I'm going to give you a little bit of my breakdown or my thought processes on when to use certain things. So, I'll start off real easy. Santee Cooper rig. It's the same as a Carolina rig, you just add this stuff to it. This if you take the float out, you can fish it with just a rattle and bobber stoppers and it'd be just fine. I love this rig for all 3 species of catfish. I like them for bullheads too, to be honest. It's versatile in that you can change your depths, how high you want your boat, your float to take your bait. You can shorten the leader and it will only go so short. You can make it long and it can really whip around and get some scent going. I like using these anytime I'm fishing. If I'm channel catfishing or blue catfishing, I have one rig tied on like this. So I don't tie everything the same. I let the fish tell me what they want. Sometimes they want just this. They want just that one piece of bigger bait. They're more tuned up. They just like that. They don't want 2 smaller ones. They really want that big one. And this is what's going to get them for that. This you can use in current if you got a heavier weight. It can really get some scent going because it'll move around just like that in the water. Your depth, your distance between your float and your hook will depend on time of year and water temperature and all that stuff. The amount of rattles. Rattles can be a detriment in the cold. They're great in the warmer weather when fish are really tuned up and ready to go. Yeah, anything like that you can do. It's the same principle for me. It's the same principle as using my Carolina rig. I always have one throw tied on like that and throwing out. I don't ever tie anything the same. Like I said, I let the fish tell me what they like, what they want that day. Your high-lows. I love this rig, but there's some things to know about it. So, I really like the high-lows for finicky bites. I really like the high-lows for cold weather. And I really love this rig. 2 smaller baits can get more scent than 1 big bait. 2 smaller baits are easier to eat than 1 big bait. Which is a good thing when you got cold water fish that aren't really active. You got finicky fish that are shallow biting, short biting. You can use a bait the size of your thumbnail on there and you'll get the fish. You can dress this up with rattles and beads and everything you want. You can leave it plain. You don't have to do anything like that. You can set how far you want these hooks. By how deep you put your weight, you can dictate how far into the water column you go. With how far you set your hooks apart, you can hit 2 different sections, or 3 or 4, depending on how many loops you tie into this thing. How many sections of the water column you hit, or you can tie them really close and really nail 1 section of the water column, but with your weight, if you got a 3-foot weight, the bottom one will be sitting basically 2.5 foot, the top one will be whatever it is that you set there. You can set it for 6 inches apart. You can set it for 6 feet apart. It's a very versatile rig. I love it for everything. The biggest problem is, 2 biggest problems. That they tangle like you wouldn't believe, these 2 hooks. Even if you got them 3 feet apart, they're gonna tangle. It's gonna happen. And then casting. These are a real pain to cast, especially if you're really trying to really throw it out there, really wing it, if you have a bait caster. Because they get to helicoptering and that weight starts swinging around like that, and that causes surges because it's centrifugal force. It's gonna do one of these and it's gonna come around. And look, it already tangled just like that. It's gonna cause, centrifugal forces are gonna cause differing speeds, which is going to cause the line to come out of your spool on your bait caster at different speeds, which is going to cause birds nesting. And when the birds nest, your bait's going to go flying. You're going to have not only have to tangle, you're going to have to reel back in, rebait, and try it again. So when, especially with bait casters, you got to be careful with the amount of pressure and how smooth you are when it comes to casting this rig. When you're using spinning reels, it's much easier. This rig, for casting this rig, spinning reel, spinning reel, spinning reel. If you have a bait boat, none of that matters. But for casting this, it's much easier to do on a spinning reel than it is on a bait casting reel. You got 4 basic hooks. J hook, because it looks like a J. This is a kale. It's got an offset eye. This is a circle hook, but it's called an offset circle because the eye is offset. This is a straight circle hook. These 2 hooks, circle hooks. I only use circle hooks for blue cats. I use circle hooks for any application, for any fish that I'm not going to set the hook on. I use them in any rig, high-low rigs, Santee Coopers, float rigs, anything, Carolina rigs, anything that you don't want to set the hook. Reason being, it's called a circle hook because the hook point circles back into the shank. Now, picture this is on the line. Got your bait. Fish bites it. When a fish turns, so if fish is turning, see how that turns right into that? Got the point started. The tension on the line and the fish turning is what sets that hook point into the fish's mouth. You don't set the hook on a circle hook because it'll pull it just like that, right out. But you let the fish do the work, circles in, catches the fish. J hook, I use strictly for flathead catfish. I will not use circles on flatheads. I don't target them with circles anyways. This is what you use when you want to set the hook. You use this under floats. You can use it on any rig, but this is the one that you're gonna set the hook on. Reason being, fish goes to turn, it can miss that point. But fish is messing with it, or you got a finicky fish, or it's cold, or they're shallow biting, or anything like that. You got to use really small bait. You feel that tug. That's when you can set the hook. I almost set the hook in my finger right now. Set the hook. It's going to dig in just like that. The point is going to be dug in, and you're going to get that fish. This is a kale. It's got an offset. The kale you can use. You can set a hook, or you can kind of fish it like a circle hook. You can kind of do both with this thing. It takes a little more skill to use this than your J, and I'd argue more skill to use than a circle. But you can use this, or rather I use this with flatheads as well as a J. I will not use this for flatheads. The most tricky part about your circle hook, okay, is breaking your habit of setting the hook. It sucks. It's a real pain. But once you learn how to use these things, these are awesome hooks to use. Don't be afraid of using them. But understand, until you're good with them, you're going to lose fish. It's growing pains, but you're going to deal with it. It'll be good. But you also got to learn the applications of when you want to use them. Bait for a minute or two. Yes, you can go to the store and you can buy bait if you're catfishing or carp fishing or anything like that. The best store bait, in my opinion, is shrimp. Why? It's the most natural smelling to what the fish are going to eat. You can use corn. You can catch anything on corn, really. You can catch small catfish, bullhead on chicken livers, but I don't use them. I don't like using them. They're messy. They don't stay on the hook. Anything like that, it's fine. Anything like that, I just don't like it. You can make your Jello chickens and stuff like that. It does work. I've caught fish on it. I've done the Pepsi challenge and tried it. Not my favorite. There are parts of the country, big rivers, where guys and gals put absolute hurting on blue catfish with Jello chicken and stuff like that. But there's very specific applications, and it's not in my water, or rather the waters that I fish. The best bait you're gonna find, in my opinion, is fresh bait from the body of water that you're fishing. If you can catch your bait on hook and line, fantastic. If you know how to throw a cast net, even better. But make sure that you know your state's legalities and the fishing regulations from DNR, because they can be different body to body of water, what you can keep and what you can't in your cast net. But I always like fresh cut. Live bait is always great depending on what you're targeting to. Fish eat other fish. It doesn't always end up having to be cut. You can't go wrong with worms, night crawlers. Smaller fish use smaller worms. Use your red worms, use wax worms, use spikes, use stuff like that. Don't fall. You can use stink bait. You can use punch bait from bait shops and gas stations, and it has caught fish. It will catch fish, but they're small. In my experience, they've always been small fish that I've caught on that stuff, and I'd just rather use the money, or rather save the money and put it in my gas tank to get to where I want, than buying $15 tub of dip bait, punch bait, or those chunks of dough balls. You can make that stuff at home.